Hello everyone, Jerry and Carolyn Savelle here. We want to say happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you, and especially our partners. Thank you for being so loyal, so faithful.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl in Shreveport, Louisiana, standing under a big, beautiful tree, playing church with her sister and their baby dolls. At the same time, there was a little boy who had just moved on the same street, riding his bike in the neighborhood. That little girl was me, and that little boy was Jerry Savelle. At that time, I turned to my sister and said, "That's the boy I will marry one day. We will preach the gospel and go to Africa." After graduation at 17 years old, I married that little boy. The night before our wedding, I told him that the Lord had shown me that the man I married would be a preacher and go to Africa. He said, "You're marrying the wrong man. I'm going to spend the rest of my life on a racetrack." He tells the story this way. I said, "You just go in there and tell the preacher I do, and me and God will do the rest." On our honeymoon at Six Flags over Texas, we heard for the first time the song, "Dream the Impossible Dream." And that's exactly what we've done together for 57 years and 9 months. God gave me a special grace to be married to a man who had a call on his life to travel across the globe. He was gone on an average of 21 days a month, so I got used to being alone, eating alone, sleeping alone, but I always knew he would walk through that kitchen door and come home to me. Typically, I would get a text or phone call and he would say, "Hi, Squirt, want to meet me at Cracker Barrel?" We always look forward to our lunch dates, our times at the River House, and our yearly vacations in Hawaii with our friends. He was the most Christ-like man I've ever known. He was the mirror image of Jesus to me. He was faithful to me. He was loyal to his friends and deeply devoted to his family. Our daughters were the absolute love of his life. Jerry Ann and Terry were Daddy's girls. His 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren brought the greatest joy to his heart. Jerry Savelle was born to be a papa. What attracted me to Jay, that's what I've lovingly called him, were so many wonderful attributes. Everything from his sense of humor. He always had me laughing. He loved children, and he loved the elderly. He was such a gentleman. He knew the lyrics to every 50 song, and the artist, and who wrote them, and would even sing them to me. You may be asking yourself, why did this happen to this great man of faith? Most of you know the story of the stroke that he had back in 2016 and the miraculous healing from that. At that time, he was told by the doctor to come back in a year after recovery and have another procedure to another clogged artery. We as a family were on him to have this done. Eventually, he scheduled another surgery in 2020, but that was the week the pandemic happened and everything was shut down. His surgery was canceled. He continued on with his vigorous schedule as travel and ignored his health issues despite the urgings of his girls and I. He never complained or expressed symptoms of any kind, except in the last several months. He seemed extremely fatigued. We just assumed it was intense schedule that he was keeping. But my husband would be here today had he done what the doctor suggested he do. So I urge you to not ignore symptoms in your body or delay medical procedures so that your loved ones will not have to experience this deep pain. I will say that Jerry went out doing what he loved to do the most, and that was preaching Jesus, talking people into winning, and giving to others until the very end.
Hi all guys, I welcome you back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking and also share this video. Now, as we are still commemorating, paying tributes and also celebrate the life, the legacy and of course the huge impact the popular televangelist, that is Dr. Brother Jerry Savelle, who actually passed away just a few weeks ago. We've seen, actually I gave you a video about the funeral and memorial service, celebration of life service that was held and organized by the family together with Brother Kenneth Copeland, a very close friend to Dr. Jerry Savelle. So at that funeral, we also saw the wife, that is Carolyn, Jerry's wife, actually coming out, like I've given you at the beginning of this video. Actually, the audio and the video you've just watched, we credit it to the Jerry Savelle Ministries, who actually released it on their official YouTube page. So in that video, we are seeing Carolyn coming out to honor and also celebrate the husband, Dr. Jerry Savelle, with her works. She went back, way back, so many years ago, 57 years ago plus, when they first met with each other, in Shreveport, that is northwest of Louisiana. And she revealed they were both young kids, and later on had to get married. But what actually caught my eye in her statement and a tribute video, it was the kind of a relationship the wife Carolyn and Brother Jerry had together. She even went ahead and read her last message and message of love she had sent to him. Remember, by the time Brother Jerry passed away, he was in California, of course, doing what he has always done for the last 50 plus years, that is preaching the word of God. So in that video, Carolyn went ahead and read that entire letter she had written, to the husband before he actually passed away in California in a hotel room. So in that letter, she said that she actually confessed her love and of course her desire and entire attraction to the long-time partner, that is Brother Jerry Savelle. It showed that despite all the difficulties, despite all the troubles Jerry had, not giving all his time to the wife, he was always committed, always in love with the wife Carolyn. It was really a very sweet and sweet and emotional tribute, and it was really emotional, like I've said, and it showed the great depth of love these two people had towards each other. We still send our sincere condolences and of course messages of sympathies to the family, friends, the entire Jerry Savelle Ministries congregation, and everyone who really knew the man of God, that is Dr. Jerry Savelle. We will continue celebrating his life, his legacy, and of course we'll always remember him. R.I.P. and rest in power the legend that is Brother and Dr. Jerry Savelle.